My dad has fallen for a gypsy woman with olive skin, red nails, and shining eyes. Her kiss at Safeway took him by surprise as he studied the label on a soup can. She said, "I'm sorry to hear your wife died. We ought to go to dinner and a show." That sounded good, although he didn't know who she was. It was easy to decide to write his number on a slip of paper and hand it to her. The next time they met, they saw Showboat and shared a banana split. "I'm an interior decorator," she said, "and I've designed 3 hotel rooms in Reno. Let's go pick up my check. We can share a room, a king-size bed, deck, and kitchenette, just like a bride and groom. There's just one thing I hope you'll understand. I need to borrow some money from you before we leave. $15,000 will do. When I get paid, I'll give you 30 grand. Dad replied, "Ask them to mail your check." But he wanted to hold hands and kiss again. He loved her leopard dress, dark hair, smooth skin, and thought her crystal ball might bring him luck. For dinner on a moonlit night in June, she cooked shrimp and he brought Chardonnay. She said, "Dick, I don't want to dismay you, but I need an operation soon." She showed him a cigar box filled with cash. "I have 30 grand, but the docs want 20 more. He loved her jasmine scent, but caught a sudden whiff of rotting fish. Her messages don't ask for his forgiveness. He hasn't answered yet, but he still yearns for all the little things one never learns to do without. Red nails, a leopard dress, and his bedroom in Arles. The upstairs room in the yellow house across the street from the Roman arena in Arles is almost as he painted it. Bowl and pitcher on a small table, 2 chairs, a bed with yellow sheets and a red comforter. The only difference, a second small table with a box for the artist's brushes and palette. For a few euros, you can enter this fiction. The actual corner house that Vincent rented from widow Venisac in 1888 was hit by an Allied bomb, blown into history. But who can say what's real? The same Provençal sun warms this house as the one where he wanted to fill his guest room with paintings of sunflowers. "I want to make it into a true artist's house," he wrote. "Everything from the chairs to the pictures should have character. And if this character is captured by designers who copied his room here on a street where he must have walked, perhaps this is now a true artist's house too, where one could go mad, dreaming of sunflowers." And pink and yellow, they float on pads in clusters forming blue-green mats. Yes, I have entered the painting to stand on the Japanese bridge, framed by bamboo, a weeping willow, and hanging wisteria, all reflected in water that's nearly still. The bland gray sky doesn't matter, nor does my internal weather. Near the pink house, irises are out in white and purple ruffles. Poppies swish red skirts like flamenco dancers. I must remember how they sway. Inside, the dining room is yellow as an egg yolk, the blue and white tiled kitchen lined with copper pots. Japanese prints adorn walls in almost every room. Like moments repeating in memory, Hokusai's wave rolls forever, its promise unchanged. And this one is called Last Day in Amsterdam. We make love in our room with 15-foot ceilings and a vinyl Rembrandt behind the bed. Then lunch on leftover sandwiches. Afterward, we buy fusidic acid for pink eye at the Appetit on the corner and almond cookies at a bakery nearby. Walking to the Hermitage in chilly May wind while dappled sunlight pokes through clouds hanging in low bunches, as they often do here, I keep my hands deep in my pockets so my fingertips won't turn white. The canals, lined with black, red, pink, gray, brown, and beige brick houses, glitter everywhere the thin light strikes them. The paintings at the Hermitage are by Rubens, Van Dyck, Jordaens, and Teniers. Dancing peasants, witches cooking, and wilted tulips please me more than biblical figures, kings and queens, and all the dead fish. Tomorrow we'll board a train to Paris, thin-blade modern windmills, enough propellers to lift the whole country will be turning. Sliced by irrigation channels, the flat green landscape will quickly slip by. I'll remember dodging bicycles outside the mellow yellow coffee shop with its hookah in the window, climbing steep stairs to the small dark rooms of Anne Frank's secret annex, and watching women in bright bikinis with jewels in their navels beckon from red light windows while talking on their cell phones and smiling, maybe feeling sorry for all the dowdy women in blue jeans who also do it every day but don't get paid. Last one I'll read from this collection is called Visitor, and this one takes place at a museum called the Hall of Health. It was a small museum in Berkeley, and I was the director there for 17 years. So, Visitor. The phone rings at the same time Gordon sticks his red face in my office. He has thinning red hair, a white mustache and beard. His large flaccid body follows in sleeveless white t-shirt and loose-fitting jeans. I need to get a flip shot with my husband and choose colors for my bedroom and home office. Gordon had a son with a Japanese woman when he was in the service. Couldn't get visas to bring them home. I have 6 phone calls to make while I eat my tortilla chips and super burrito. Addicted to alcohol and Valium, evicted from his apartment, spurned by women, he sits down by my desk at the Health Museum. Does he think I can help him? All I know is honeybees have hair on their eyes, slugs have 4 noses, and Sir Isaac Newton invented the cat door. What can I do for Gordon? I let him use the other phone. Only a grandparent of a blonde boy who clumps in his new sandals, then throws me a ball strewn with black stars and moons on a white background, and a bow-legged baby girl with blue eyes, all smiles today in her hooded carrier, a child born the day my own grandfather would have turned 130. He never knew he had grandchildren, let alone great-greats. My own toddler days of warm cookies, crayons, and Betsy Wetsy dolls don't seem far away, but I am en route to becoming an ancestor. Lucy and Ricky are dead. Barbie is past 50. Even the hippies are history. When my grandchildren show their grandchildren my photo in an old album, I wonder what they'll say. That I swore like a trucker when I was hurt, blew like Vesuvius when I was mad. They might recall I was always late, never learned to knit or crochet, had brown hair, couldn't cook worth a damn but could carry a tune, took poetry books everywhere, liked to know birds and insects by name, overreacted in both bad and good ways, was unreasonably vain for someone my age, had legs like a crane and liked to dance. Grandfather, I have come to Acushnet, land of the Kushenas, settled by the Pilgrims in 1639, and bought for 30 yards of cloth, 8 moose skins, 15 axes, 15 hoes, 15 pairs of breeches, 8 blankets, 2 kettles, 1 cloak, 2 pounds in wampum, 8 pairs of stockings, 8 pairs of shoes, 1 iron pot, and 10 shillings. To find you, I have crossed clear skies and oceans of clouds, rising and falling in massive white waves. Years, decades, nearly a century stretched between us like a rickety bridge, threatening to collapse before I could reach you. It's been 80 years since you waved at the train, taking my 12-year-old mother and her twin sister to live in California with their mother's adoptive parents. When you said goodbye on the platform, did you know they'd soon have new names? The first time I saw your name, Ebenezer Ellis Bumpus, I laughed out loud, thinking of Ebenezer Scrooge, Ichabod Crane, and country bumpkins. How could I have known of Nathan Cobb Bumpus, Roland Sturdivant Bumpus, and your pride in your old New England name? Grandfather, I have come to Acushnet on a bright September day and knelt at the grave where you lie beside Emma Hazard Bumpus, half Wampanoag orphan, and your 3 children who didn't live to see their 2nd birthdays. My mother never told me the color of your hair and eyes. She told no one your name. I think she must have loved you, but it was an unbearable weight, and now that weight has passed to me like a suitcase too heavy to carry. Ebenezer Ellis Bumpus, what did you look like? What did you do at the shoe factory? What gave you joy? I have stood on the wooded street where you lived, and now I'll search until I find you beyond forests so dense in my dreams. So I did find out what he looked like. I found descendants of his sisters who had pictures of him and other family members, including my mother and her twin sister's kids. So that was Ebenezer Ellis Bumpus. At 2 years old, he takes my hand, leads me to the blackberry vine growing on the fence in his backyard. They're not ripe yet, he explains, then points to a small hole in the earth. The ants live there. I need a digging stick, he announces, holding up a fragile twig and shaking his head. This one's no good. I hand him a thicker stick. Perfect. In a shady corner near the patio, he digs and makes a find. It's a roly-poly in a ball, he says. I hold out my hand to receive the woodlouse, a terrestrial crustacean. Gretchen and I called them pillbugs in 1st grade when we found them with ants and Jerusalem crickets. Careful, my grandson warns, a pincher bug. It will pinch you. He points to an earwig, an insect with cerci, forceps on its abdomen. It's had 5 molts before becoming an adult. Someday I will tell him this, and that females have straight pinchers, males curved ones. Today, though, he's the teacher, and I'm his eager pupil, standing in light while blackberries ripen and a woodlouse unrolls. I can't believe the universe is tan, not red or green or lavender or blue. I feel carnelian when you take my hand, not beige like lima beans from a can, but a splendid electrifying hue. I can't believe the universe is tan. Rose and gold are what I understand when I think of waking up each day with you. I feel carnelian when I take your hand. And like the universe, my love expands, surrounding us with turquoise and chartreuse. Can you believe the universe is tan? A color desolate as lunar sand and homely as a peanut or cashew. I feel carnelian when we're hand in hand, listening to Pariah play Chopin. The stars all turn cerulean on cue. I don't care if the universe is tan. I feel carnelian as you take my hand. So thank you.